do not believe, do not receive. This is a quotation heard quite often in the Garrett house. My mom says it all the time during the Christmas season, and now it's second nature to Victoria, Ned, and me. We say it all the time for just about every occasion in which it can be applied. It makes sense if we think about it. If we don't believe something can happen, then how can it? For example, if we don't think we're going to pass that test we have in math class, then we're most likely not going to. However, if we walk into the room with a smile on our face because we know that we studied the perfect amount, and if we walk in with confidence in ourselves to make the grade that we desire, then we definitely will. There's nothing more frustrating or aggravating than when a person tells us that we can't do something. How do they know what we're capable of? There are two different ways to respond to this person. We can either say, yeah, you're probably right, that's really unrealistic, or we can say, just watch us do it. He'll probably laugh at us and maybe make fun of us, but the real glory comes when we get to see his face as we prove him wrong. Whatever we're proving might be something as small as water skiing with no hands and only 1 foot in the ski, or it might be something as large as setting a world record. Think about how different the world would be if every person immediately quit trying what they were told, quit trying to do what they were doing when they were told that what they were attempting was impossible. Nothing extraordinary would ever get accomplished. It can be viewed on a local scale or on a global scale. Locally, it happened just this past summer. I'll never forget when Peter Ketch came up to me during history class last year and said to me, "Hey Rachel, Spencer, Tim, and I are going to try to break the world record for the longest kickball game. Would you be interested in playing?" Naturally, because I love kickball and love the idea of setting a world record, replied with an enthusiastic yes. However, the part of the story that stands out the most in my mind is the part where every single person in that classroom besides Peter and me began to laugh. They said things such as, "You can't do that," or "Who's going to want to play kickball for that long?" or even, "That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard." See yourself in the shoes of Peter, Tim, and Spencer. How do you think they felt when they had to deal with all that criticism? Yet, because they had the drive to accomplish this dream of theirs, they stuck with it and were successful. It can also be looked at from a global standpoint. What if someone had come up to Lance Armstrong and told him that he really should just quit fighting the cancer that he had and try to enjoy the last few peaceful moments of his life? If he had said, "Yeah, you're probably right," then he would not have won his battle against cancer and most certainly would not have ever gotten on it back again. We can't ever let anyone tell us what we can and cannot do. There's a scene in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness in which the character played by Will Smith says to his son, "Hey, don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me, alright? You got a dream, you got to protect it. If people can't do something themselves, they want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it, period." My all-time favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:13, which reads, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Many of you might have just rolled your eyes, for that Bible verse is used for just about everything. However, if you know me at all, then you know that those words are literally what wake me up in the morning, for when I roll over out of bed to turn off my alarm on my phone, I read Phil 4:13. This verse also keeps me moving with a smile on my face during the day, and it allows me to go to bed knowing that when I wake up the next day, I'll be one step closer to reaching my dreams. I'm an extremely faithful person, specifically in the Christian faith, but I believe it doesn't matter what one's religious views are in order to be faithful. We just have to have faith in ourselves. Seeing is believing is a common thing heard on a day-to-day basis. As athletes, we're trained to visualize the play before it ever occurs. On a soccer field, we have to visualize winning the scoring goal. On a golf course, we have to visualize the tee shot going straight down the middle of the fairway and landing nicely on the green. On a tennis court, we have to visualize ourselves hitting the state championship winning volley, and hey, it'll happen if we put in the right amount of practice and if we believe we can do it. I'll never forget the day when a person who means a whole lot to me told me I couldn't do something. It was a Sunday afternoon and my family had gone to Dick's Cafe after church to grab some lunch. I was a freshman and somehow or another we ended up talking about colleges. Most of you in this room probably know that I would do just about anything to be able to attend the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. It's where just about all my mom's side of the family went to college, and it's home to the 5-time winning NCAA basketball championship Tar Heel men's basketball team. Basically, it's heaven on earth in my eyes. So anyway, I stated the fact that I really wanted to get to UNC for college. My mom, who was sitting right across from me, looked me in the eye and said something along the lines of, "It's so hard to get into, Rachel, you're not going to get in there. Even if you want to dream about getting in, you're going to have to work really hard." This didn't make me happy. To be honest and slightly embarrassed as I situation, I began to tear up, so I quickly stood up and went to the bathroom so that I could hide my tears. I came back to the table, and we continued doing the crossword puzzle as if nothing had ever happened. Despite the fact that I wasn't happy with my mom at this moment in time, I'm now very grateful for what she said. After that meal, I went home and realized that I was going to have to work extremely hard if I ever wanted to reach this dream of mine. Ever since that realization, I have been visualizing myself in the student section of the Dean Dome with my face painted that perfect Carolina blue, singing the fight song and cheering the Tar Heels on to a victory. However, along with this visualization comes many sleepless nights of nothing but homework and studying. I wouldn't want it any other way. During a round of golf, I hit an uncharacteristically awesome tee shot and said to my dad in a somewhat whiny voice, "See, now, why can't I just hit it like that every time?" My dad turned to me and said, "Because you don't practice. It's all about muscle memory, and you just need to go out there and hit the ball more often." Having heard this speech several times before, I shrugged it off and hopped into the cart to head over to my next ball. My dad then said, "That's why you're just good at a bunch of things. You could be great if you would just focus on one thing, but you just want to do it all." I smiled because it's the truth. I've always wanted to be able to do everything. For example, I was the kid who walked around the club fair and signed up for 15 different clubs, only to realize that they all meet at the exact same time. As I grew older, I was eventually able to figure out how to maximize my time, yet my family still tells me that I have way too many things on my schedule. Because they always say that I won't be able to do all the things I sign up for, I'm driven to prove them wrong. I love being busy. I feel like that's how we're supposed to be during the school year. Sure, I get stressed out a lot and don't get the healthy amount of sleep, but it pays off in the end. I would so much rather travel to Stuttgart to play in a soccer game on a Tuesday night, stay and watch the guys play until about 9, get home around 10, play guitar for 30 minutes, and then stay up until about 1:30 or 2 doing homework, then getting home at 4 and going to bed at 9. My opinion is that we should take full advantage of every opportunity placed in front of us. We can't just watch the day roll away only to realize that we accomplished absolutely nothing. We never know when something might unexpectedly happen to us that causes us to lose a certain ability that we once had but didn't appreciate as much as we should have. For example, I knew that I was going to hop into the Suburban one day after school as a 7th grader and had my mom tell me that I could no longer eat wheat products, aka chicken fingers, which were my favorite thing to put in my mouth at the time. Then I would have savored every bite of real bread, quality pizza, and the legendary Shipley's donuts while I still had time to eat them. Luckily for me, finding out that I had celiac disease was not the end of the world. A few weeks ago, one of my good friends from camp was driving a golf cart with her younger brother in the front and her older brother on the back of the golf cart. A freak accident occurred, and her older brother fell off the back of the cart and landed in just a way that broke his neck. He was an organ donor and sadly died the next day. This could have been anyone in this room. We never know when things are going to be taken away from us. It could be the life of a person we care about, it could be our ability to walk, or it could be our friends as we move to a new state. We shouldn't take anything for granted, and we definitely can't let these setbacks stop us from reaching our dreams. Failure is a guaranteed part of life. I'm typically a half-full kind of girl, but I have to accept that failures will occur. I have failed many times in my life, but these failures have pushed me to try harder for the next time. For the first 3 weeks of my very first AP class, I had the pleasure of logging on to Power School and seeing the number 54 next to Dr. Hall's name. My sister was particularly excited about this, but I was not. It was a loud wake-up call telling me that I was going to have to earn my A that I desired. After a lot of studying, I managed to finish the quarter off with a 92. I had to fight for that A. If I had given up, then I would have finished the year off with a lousy grade and would have no hope of attending UNC. Nobody likes a quitter. If we sign up for something, then we have to commit to it and give it our best shot. If we have a dream or goal for ourselves, we can't quit halfway thinking that there's no way we'll succeed. How will we ever know if we could have actually reached our dream? Plus, if we quit halfway, then all we accomplish is simply wasting a bunch of our time. One of the key ingredients of life is endurance. No matter how tired we are, we must continue to fight until we do the impossible. We will fail, but each failure happens for a specific reason and will benefit us in the long run. As my grandfather once said to a boat full of his shell-shocked grandchildren, as he was coming out of the water having just attempted to water ski as a man in his mid-70s after multiple knee replacements, It's better to try and fail than not try at all. Each person in this room has and will continue to achieve great things, and will prove to all the doubters that nothing is impossible. An anonymous quotation reads, "Better it has been than it never was, but better it never was than it never tried to be." The moral of the story is that we must reach for our dreams no matter how high they are, and we can't let anyone stop us. As James Dean put it, dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today. Amen.